Hey everyone, Teacher Jessica here, and I came today to talk to you about late arrivals on PalFish, no-shows, cancellations, how you still get paid for things like that, what to do in those situations. PalFish is great about compensating you for your time when students don't show up or when they're late. And what do you do? So I have a couple of notes here to go over with you. A couple of things that I do. When you go into your classroom, I always go in like 5 minutes early, and you can turn your camera off and mute your sound, and it stays muted up to 30 seconds before the class starts, and then it automatically turns the camera on 30 seconds before the camera starts. So what I do is I just take, and this is a Christmas label or a Christmas present, and I just cover my camera with that so that when that camera turns on after 30 seconds, the camera's still covered. Just in case the student doesn't show up, I have that covered, okay? And I leave it covered because they've been known to be late. It's not rare for the Chinese students to be late. I have had students show up 15 minutes after class started, and when they do that, you just start from the beginning and get as far as you can in your 25 minutes, and then just tell them that class is over, you're sorry that you didn't get finished, and that you hope to see them in your classroom soon. And that's all you can do. You can't go over because you may have a class afterwards, and you can't be late for your next class because you get docked money and points for being late for your next class. So you just, do what you can. They were late. It's their fault they were late, not your fault. You were on time. So just keep moving. So what I do is I wait about 10 minutes with my camera covered. Sometimes I read a book. Sometimes I make notes of what I'm going to do for lives or things like that. And then after about 10 minutes, I take the paper off my camera and I go through the lesson. And I use that as a practice time to go through the lesson. Even if it's a lesson that I've done several times, I still go through and I still practice it. I still present the lesson as if I had a student there. And the reason is I do that because all of the lessons are recorded. And while you may not have the student there, the parent can go back and still watch that lesson. They were scheduled that time. They have access to that lesson. So I still teach because they still may book you again based off of that lesson. Something may have come up, they forgot, or they had an emergency at that time, and they just came back and watched that video, and they were like, hey, I like this teacher, I'm going to buy a package from this teacher, or I'm going to book this teacher for a mini package again. I liked her energy or his energy. So I do that, and you don't need the full 25 minutes when there's not interaction with another kid, because you're not having to actually teach the child and see what the child knows. There's no interaction, so you can move pretty quickly without having somebody on the other end that you're actually having to teach and go through and pull information out of. Another thing that I do is after I finish the lesson, I will go and send, I have these little mean things that I've gotten from different groups on PalFish that say, I'm sorry you missed the lesson, and then I let them know that it's recorded and they can go back and watch it. I always let them know that I'm sorry that they missed the class and that they can book me for future classes. Let's see. What else? Payment with PalFish. If a student cancels within, I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 hours before the lesson starts, then you get half pay. And it frees that spot up for you to take new appointments. So you get half your pay, plus you have time to book a new student or take an emergency call if somebody, or emergency appointment if somebody cancels another class, another teacher cancels and they need a substitute. You have that spot open. Or if you just want to use that time for yourself, you don't want a class at that time, you get half the pay. If the student does not show up at all and you stay in the classroom for 25 minutes, you don't move the app to the background and do anything else, you stay in the classroom for 25 minutes, you get your full pay. Whether the student was there or not, you still get your full pay. That's why I go ahead and do the lesson, because I'm getting paid for it anyway. It's there for the parent to watch. I know there are some people that don't do it. They just sit there with their cameras covered. Some people just sit there and stare at the camera. I think that's pretty boring to sit there and stare at the camera for 25 minutes. That's what they do. So just, you get paid whether they show up or not. Now if they cancel outside of the 3 hours, like 4 hours, you don't get any compensation for that. You do get points also if they cancel within the 3 hours or no-show. If it's a no-show, it's treated just like a regular class, like as if the student was there. You get the full pay and you get your points towards moving up to your next pay level. And I will be doing more videos on paying. I'll do more videos on moving to the next pay level, how to get bonuses, things like that in the future. If you have any questions, please drop me some questions below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you're interested in PalFish, please hit me up. I'd be glad to help you through the process. Like I said, it was a very easy process to get hired. I've enjoyed it. It's been a great experience. I've had no issues with it. I'm going to share my referral link below. If you have any questions with the hiring process, when I go through the hiring process, I'd be happy to help you. Y'all have a great day.